Welcome back to Bless Your Heart, I'm Talking. This is Zada, your host. I got another fun-filled episode of absolutely nothing because that's what today's goal is. Today's goal is to talk about everything and nothing, just like a Southern goodbye and a front porch conversation. So I got one thing to start with. This motherfucker I'm engaged to / husband, he is driving me insane right now with this. Okay, when we got this podcast equipment for this location, for the house, I was using Al's podcast equipment. He would let us use his studio. And since, I guess partially a way to pay me for what I do for him. And it was kind of hard to do because Kelly and I scheduling it, he moved the studio where it was closer to the inside of the bar practically, and you could hear a lot of stuff, so you couldn't get good sound quality. So I was like, okay, that's, harder to do. Kelly and my schedule are so opposite. We couldn't get there at a time that it wasn't loud, and we couldn't hide the sound. So Rick bought me recording equipment so that it'd be more convenient for me. And he was like, just put it upstairs because no one goes upstairs. Our bedroom, no one goes to. And I have a pretty busy house, so it's really the only quiet part of the house. The only noise you're going to get out of this part of the house is if you're in this room or if you're directly below this room, which is the garage, which is his man cave, which I can't seem to get him out of. So I need about an hour a week to record this. An hour a week. That's it. I do have to work on this other times of the day, but that doesn't require silence. I'm not recording. I just need one. I'm real flexible, y'all. I'm real flexible. That 1 hour a day, it can be, right after work. It can be right after dinner. It can be right before I start cooking. It can be on the weekend as long as I'm not out of town. It can be on a weekday. I'm real flexible about it. All I need is enough time to prepare for it ahead of time, a little planning. Rick does not like to plan. So like Zaylee with her autism likes to overplan and she overthinks things, and you really want to be careful to not tell her too much too soon or she gets hyper-focused on it and stresses herself out about it. Rick is the polar opposite, and he does not want to make any actual plans. He doesn't want to nail down a time or a date or anything. Everything is, we're going to just see how it goes. But see, in his head, he does have a motherfucking plan. He does. That man gets all his shit done. You can't get all the shit done that he gets done without a plan. I know he has a plan. And part of the reason I know he has a plan is because he gets mad at me when I don't follow the plan that he has in his head that he has yet to communicate to me, because he doesn't like to make plans. I don't mean mad, but he'll be like, kind of, but that's not the plan. What is the plan? Can you tell me the plan and we can plan this together, or at least can be in on the plan and be prepared for said motherfucking plan? But no. He does not want to make a plan. He wants to wing it. That's what he wants to do. And he's not going to make the plan. So here, I need a plan. I need a day to record. I need a plan, y'all. And it's real hard to get. And so I've been trying to record pretty much every day. Every day, I'm like, I just need an hour. I just need an hour where you're not in the man cave and you're not in and out of the house, because you can hear the back doors opening and closing, and you're not in the bedroom and you're not taking a nap. And we have a really big bedroom, so like there's a whole corner that's like a living room. It's a garage apartment that usually people rent this out. We just made it our bedroom, but it's got plenty of space for the studio. I just need this man to stay out of it for 1 hour or out of the garage. And you know what he does? He starts the fucking blower. He starts the mower. He starts the water pressure thing or pressure washer thing. He washes his boat and turns the speaker on. He clanks things around. He starts, like, I wouldn't say redecorating, but reorganizing. He moves the boat in and out. I am on my 5th take, y'all. I have started this episode 5 times. And this is after the day of me going, I need to record a day. I have no plans today. I just need to know that at some point today, I can record for 1 hour. You'll be out of that garage. What do you have planned today? When are you going where? Well, I got to get rid of these fish guts, because, he went fishing all night last night. I got to get rid of these fish guts, and I got to run by my mom's, and I think he said Home Depot. And I was like, great. Do all those at the same time, and let me know when you're going to do it, and I'm going to record for that hour. That's all I need. I just need to make sure you do it early enough that it doesn't interfere with dinner. That's my only plan tonight, is to make dinner and to work on the house and to record. Great. Let me tell you, it is fucking 5 o'clock. I've started this 5 times. This man is trying to kill me. And you know what would happen is if I got it, like, what everyone, oh, you need a she shed. Oh, you need your own little studio. You need a she shed. He would just mow around it. I have no doubt he would mow around it while he's not, I don't know what's going through his head. I don't understand. And he was like, well, I don't want to leave. The other day he had to leave and go to Walmart for an hour. Well, dude, I don't know what to tell you. You're always around. I can't get anything done. And part of what's making it so hard lately is, he goes in real early this time of year because it's so hot, and he works outside. So he goes in super, super early. So he gets off early, and then he takes a nap, 2 hours. And then he gets up and we have the evening time. And so his nap time is the time when I would normally be able to record, and he would normally be getting home from work and getting a snack and working on stuff outside or whatever. And I'm about to shoo him out of the man cave, but right now I'm having to, on weekdays, shoo him out of the bed. So that's why I was thinking, I got to do it this weekend. This fucking man. I love him. I'm glad he's not lazy, and I'm glad he's not playing video games, but Lord help me. I just need 1 hour. 1 hour. Like, I thought I was going to have to just take my myself up to Al's and record there today, which is silly because I have equipment. Then I was like, no, it's Sunday and they're going to be having a good time, basically. All right, rant over. This is what I'm talking about. Everything and nothing. All right, here's something else I want to talk about, though, y'all. I want one of those damn things. They're the Remarkables. It's like a notepad. Look it up. It's called Remarkable. And it's like a notepad that, like, you can write stuff down, and then it takes your words that you wrote and, like, scribbling it down, and it turns it into print so you don't have to type everything. So, like, if you're a writer or you like to write notes and that kind of stuff, but you don't like to type, this does it for you. It takes your writing and turns it into typing. And I am... I like to write a lot. I like to write poetry and stories, and, I just like to write. And I don't like to type it because I lose a lot of my creative energy when I'm typing. I have to think more when I have to add periods and all that stuff. I like to just jot things down. Sometimes it's just it's not even a full story. So I saw this cool thing, Remarkable, and I want it so bad. So I'm going to annoy Remarkable and beg for them to sponsor me and send me one. That's basically what the goal is. So, but also it's really cool. Y'all should look it up. It does a bunch of other shit. That's just the thing that I thought was really cool about it. We can talk more about the other things on other episodes, though, because, we want them to love us. Another thing I got, font snobs. On the subject of the Remarkable and typing and stuff. Font snobs. You know what I'm talking about? People that are snobs about what font you use. I don't understand it. And when you like see somebody like critique somebody's like logo or like whatever, and they're like talking about the font used and how, oh my God, that's so outdated. How the fuck do you know what date? I mean, I guess fonts get popular. How do you notice? Who is looking at things thinking, I think I'm tired of seeing this font. It was cute last month, but they've totally overdone it. And I can't even look at this font anymore. It's giving poor. It's giving overused. I mean, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Have y'all seen people talk about the fonts and how they used an outdated font, or it's just totally the wrong font for that? This is what reminded me of it, okay? And this was something else I wanted to talk about anyways, was tablescaping. I don't know if y'all are on the tablescaping side of TikTok, but tablescaping, and I've heard of it before. I guess I just didn't realize it was as competitive as it is. But in California, they have like a big tablescaping competition, and I don't know if that's just the one I keep stumbling upon. It might not be the biggest one, or it might be the biggest one. I don't know. But this guy is going around. His name's Mark. I can't remember his last name, but Mark, maybe Jacobs, but there's a designer, Mark Jacobs. So it can't be Mark Jacobs, but something similar. And he's going around judging on his own merit. Like he feels like judging these tables. And they're just, you go and you design a 2-setting tabletop. And you can give it a theme. And I don't know how they decide on points, but they make these cool tabletops, and some are real elaborate and some are just simple and elegant, and they all have themes or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, I love it. I love tablescaping. I love watching it. I find it interesting. I love him judging it. I love it when he's harsh on the judgment. Some of them I'm rooting for them. But here's the best part, okay? I stumbled upon some drama on the tablescaping TikTok, and that drama would be this guy. This guy's like 32 to 35. He's holding a baby, and he is a first-time competitor in this competition for tablescaping, and he is just talking shit about the lady that was next to him, and she happened to win the competition, or part of the competition. They had a bunch of first places. I don't understand. I think each category, they have categories, I guess. So, and it's a timed event, I learned. I don't know how much time they get. And so he's just talking shit about this lady doing the tablescaping and how she's not friendly, and how he didn't just think her table was that great and he couldn't believe it won. And he was just kind of throwing some shade and making it sound like the ladies were just not very nice, but also they didn't do a great job. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, what am I watching? This is drama with tablescaping? Well, the lady comments. She is also on that side of TikTok. Duh. I mean, how big a side can it be? And they just had this competition, so that's when it's going to be popping off in that world of tablescaping. And so she's like, she said, oh, this is great. She said, bless your heart. I love that. And they're in California, so it makes it funnier because that she knew what she meant. Anyway, she said, bless your heart. That was my table. And I'm not there to make friends. I'm there for blue ribbons. And I was like, I want to be this bitch's friend. I'm not going to lie. She is there to win blue ribbons. She is not there to make friends. She does not care about your rinky-dink table, okay? You worry about you, is what she was saying. He did not place first place. She won. So she was there for the win. She was there for the win. I laughed so hard that she called him out on it, and that she blessed his heart. Y'all need to go on the go turn your algorithm towards that so you can stop looking at all this other stupid, depressing shit and go watch some tablescaping. It's like the Real House of tablescaping. That's basically what I watched this morning on TikTok. The other thing is I found something really cool. And so, I follow all these Texas pages and these Texas San Saba. I'll zone into my area, obviously, San Saba or Waxahachie, and follow the local pages. But then I also follow the big Texas pages. So one of the pages, and I believe it was, I'm not sure if it was San Saba page, but I think it was, this guy posted a picture of the Regency Bridge. And the Regency Bridge, I have talked about on this podcast before, and that's this famous bridge. And if you've ever seen the Texas Country Reporter, it's that bridge. It's the bridge he uses in the beginning, and he gets his picture taken with new guy and old guy. It's a very famous bridge. So it's washed away, I believe, twice over the last 100-something years. And I believe I don't know if it was the first building of it or the second time that they built it. But in 1895, they either rebuilt it or they built it for the first time. And I probably should know this. And so this guy posted this picture, and it was of like 6 guys standing in front of the brand new built Regency Bridge. And it said that these were the guys that helped get it built, basically. And it had their names below each guy. And it looked like it was probably in a newspaper. And the one of the guys was Riley Long. That was his name. And my great-grandmother, Zada, that I'm named after, her last name was Long. Her name was Zada Muriel Long. And I have never seen a picture of Zada. I know nothing about Zada. No one in my family knows anything about Zada because she died pretty young. And her sister-in-law, Zola, ended up raising her kids. And her kids ended up being raised by the Millers and taken care of by the Millers. So they just never were really in touch with their mom's family after she passed. They had a little bit here and there. But by the time that they had kids, they didn't take their kids around the Long family that much. So it was kind of a mystery to me. And I always wanted to know what my namesake looked like. And so I see this guy's picture, and it's Riley Long. And I'm like, I wonder if that's my great-great-grandfather, because it would be my great-great-grandfather. 1895 is around the right time. And a few years ago, I just told this story. This is what's so crazy. A few years ago, I was at this little cafe place in bar restaurant thing in Goldthwaite, which is the town before San Saba, and our family ranch that's where we're located, between Goldthwaite and San Saba. And so, which is Texas Hill Country for those that don't know. Anyway, so I ran into this guy there, and he tells me he's my cousin, and he knows, he knew my grandfather and all this stuff, and it's just crazy small world. And he tells me that my family grew up by that Regency Bridge, and that's where the ranch was, and it still exists there, and that he lives there still himself, the cousin. I was like, that's crazy. And that's all I knew about her. That's all I knew. That's where the ranch was. She grew up. So when I saw the Regency Bridge in this picture from 1895 and the guy's last name is Long, I'm like, that could be a relative of mine. It could even be my great-great-grandfather. Well, let me do some more digging now that I have a name. So I try to chat GPT it, and it's like, do you have Zada's date of birth? And I didn't know it. So I went to look up Find a Grave. And I don't know if any of y'all have ever gone down these this is ADHD, y'all. This is exactly the kind of bullshit. The fact that I have an account and regularly visit Find a Grave just really says a lot about me. So so I logged on into my account on Find a Grave, and I'd been on there before, and I had seen Zada on there before. Well, since the last time I looked at Zada, somebody has provided links to her, including her father and his grave. And what is her father's name? Riley Long. That was, in fact, my great-great-grandfather in that photo. So I've never seen a picture of him either. So I was like, that's awesome. I didn't even know his name. So I was like, oh, my God. So I take Riley's name and I type in Riley Long, Goldthwaite, Texas, and in the computer, and it pops up this link for this family tree page. So then I click on the link for the family tree page, and it's his picture, a different picture of him, and it's a family tree, and right below him are his children, including his daughter, Zada Muriel Long, with a photo of her, and she is beautiful. And I did post her picture if you follow me on social media, if you want to see what she looked like. But she looked so pretty, and even prettier than in my head. I didn't know what to imagine, but I'm named after her, and she's buried right next to my mom and my grandfather, and I spent a lot of time at that grave. And I just always wonder about her. You just want to know, she died so young, and did she have a good life? And it makes you think. And she was just so pretty. And so then now I have access to the long family information from this family tree, and boy, are they historians, y'all. So I go down this rabbit hole, and then I realized it's also did have record of my mom, but none of my mom's siblings, and then none of us. So that was and my mom passed away, and the rest of us haven't. So I'm guessing that's why they're not connected. They're getting a lot of it from birth records, I'm guessing, and somebody is a historian somewhere in that family, because people are putting in, like, you can put in a little bit of a biography of the person if you know something of them. And so, like, I read where, like, my great, 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 great grandmother, who died in 1899 in the Great Freeze of Goldthwaite. It got below 5 degrees, and 5 below, and she passed away in her own house because she froze to death. And part of what they wrote about her is that she wore a unusually small size shoe and had size 2 women's shoes. I don't even know what a size 2 means in women's. I mean, a 2 then is probably different than a 2 now, but that's what they said, a size 2, and that she was known to wear them out on the dance floor. I was like, what? So going back, I was able to go back and back and back and back. And throughout my family, now I can see the whole tree, both sides, my mom's, dad's, and mom's, and all the sides. There's so many. And we are very white. We are white. We are so white. We are white people. Okay. We're very white people. And we go back to England. And we came to the United States before it was the United States, when it was still England. So that is how long my family's been here. And not just one portion of my family, but almost all my family lineage comes back that far. And so I apparently qualify for the Daughters of the Revolution, which I don't know if you're familiar with that, but you have to have proof of kinship to the someone that fought in the Revolutionary War. And a bunch of my family did. And so it's crazy to see. And then it goes past that, and it shows where they came from in England and when they came. And almost all of them came from Yorkshire, England. And I did all this. This is not a DNA test. This is all through paperwork, birth certificates, marriage certificates, censuses, just all kinds of stuff. And like it is crazy, the stuff that I learned. Crazy. I have found back now, I think the oldest one was 1540. It goes back to 1540. And there's not just one or two they got back to 1540. It's a bunch of them. And not another Zada among the bunch. Apparently, my great-grandmother was, in fact, the first Zada. And I always wondered if it was a family name, where they got it from, were they immigrants, and they brought it, No, there's zero of that. Like, everybody's names are like Mary Jane and Pollyanna, and there is a Pocahontas, but she's white. I found that interesting because she's clearly white. They have her picture. So, I don't know. And a ton of these pictures of people that I own, and I don't know how I got these pictures. I'm assuming from my mom's things. But all these pictures, they're not who I thought they were. Some of these people are different people. All these pictures are showing up in there, and they're labeled with who they are. And I now realize that I thought they were one group of the family, and they were in fact another group of the family. And I'm like, wow, that's insane. But really cool to like tie these things together. And it's also really cool that I have some of those original pictures in my possession, and somebody else has copies they're using. So I thought that was really neat. So I know not everybody's into genealogy, and they don't always care about that kind of stuff, but I'm just a firm believer in nobody is dead until you stop talking about them. And as I believe they're still here with me in some way, and I don't know what way, but I have always felt real connected to Zada in particular, for obvious reasons, I think. But I've always felt real connected to a few other people as well. And so it's really cool to finally see what they look like, and to read about personalities, or to read about more about their life, where they went to school. It's also pretty cool to see that a lot of my family's educated. Most of them did very well for themselves. And the one of them, my Riley's mom. Okay. So my great grandmother. Okay. So his mom had 10 children and 2 husbands. And her second husband died when she was pregnant with her 10th child. And she needed her cousin's help and her brother's help to get her grandfather's inheritance. So she decided, her and some other friend of hers, a woman also, rode their horses from Tennessee to Texas to find her brother and get him to help her get her inheritance. And on the way, they were in Arkansas, and I guess winter hit during their trip. So they had to stay in Arkansas for a while. And while they were in Arkansas, some Union soldiers came through, stole their horses. Not stole, but they probably had control of the area and took them. I don't know if stealing's the right word. And so they were stuck and they needed to get to Texas, plus the kids were back in Tennessee, and this was what they were going to do. And these 2 women had been traveling across the country on horses by themselves, completely by themselves, and through Indian territory, everything, okay? So they get there to Arkadelphia, Arkansas, and lose their horses. And so they're like, okay, well, we need to get these horses back. And she goes to the Union office and says, hey, I need my horses back. I'm trying to get to Texas, and explains her situation. And I'm not caught up in this war. I'm just trying to get where I need to go. And they said, all right, we feel bad for you. We're going to give you your horses back, but you've got to figure out which horses are yours and you can have those back. So they had this big corral, with tons of horses they had taken from a bunch of people. And she, at this point, had called for her son, okay? So now her son's on his way. She had a 13-year-old boy. She had lost 2 boys that were Confederate soldiers in the war. So the 13-year-old boy gets there. How long did it take him to get there? I don't know. Was he behind them and on his way already? I don't know. But he wasn't there when they got there, but then he joined them to help them get their horses back. I don't know all those details. Gets there, goes to the corral, immediately identifies their horses, gets their horses, and then the 3 of them ride to Texas, get the family, deal with whatever they need to do, go back and get her children in Tennessee somehow. I don't know, put them on a train. I don't know. What do they do? Stagecoach? Get her 10 children and bring them back to Texas. And that is how we ended up in Gulfway, Texas. And isn't that crazy to read? And that is the same lady that died in her home because she froze to death because it got below 5 degrees. What a bad bitch, man. What a badass woman. I love history, but to read about your own family and to read that they're just a woman in particular, and that somebody cared enough to write this story down. I can't stay off the website. I just keep reading and looking at pictures after pictures after pictures. I'm talking tons of pictures of my family on their original homesteads. It's absolutely crazy. And I just highly encourage anyone to do that. And I just feel really bad for people that can't do that. And, people that came from slaves that came from Africa into the United States or into other countries that had slavery, they don't have that. They can't do that. There's not going to be a paper trail. They have to rely on DNA, and that's such a shame. That's such a shame, that they don't get to do that, because it's interesting to read and to know about. Would we like all those people? Probably not. I'm sure some of them are assholes, but it's good to know where you came from, I guess, even if it's from assholes. Not that any of them were. I don't know that, but I'm just saying. So that was my little takeaway from, I went off I went from tablescaping to that. What a little ride that was, I guess. So something else I want to talk about was house dresses, y'all. Okay. I don't think this is a menopause thing, because I think everybody has that thing they change into when they get home. And I know when I was younger, most of my friends would get home and they'd change into a tank top or a t-shirt and some comfortable shorts. I have never been a shorts or a pants girl. If I can wear a dress, I'm going to wear a dress. I have always been that way, or a skirt. So I am the queen of house dresses or nightgowns. I am going to wear a nightgown or a house dress if I have any option whatsoever. It's going to be big and comfy. It's going to have bleach on it for sure. This is like my house dress. I mean, I would almost say that I'm walking around dressed like Miss Roper, but I'm not, because those are polyester and they're hot. And I do own quite a few of them, but I don't wear them around the house because they're not something you can wear in Texas. They don't breathe very good. But what I do have is a ton of like long pullover black cotton dresses. So if I need to run to the store, I can run to the store. But I have a few that like you don't have to wear a bra with it. If you run to the store, that's my jam. That's the shit. That's what I would like to just sell comfortable house dresses. We need to bring back house dresses and house coats. Do y'all remember house coats? Your grandma always had a house coat. So you know what the point of that house coat was? Now that I'm older, I get it. She's got on her nightgown underneath it, and she don't want to fully get dressed, so she can just put on that little house coat. And this is not a robe. This is a house coat. You go to Walmart, you go to Sears and Roebuck, you go to like J.C. Penney, go in there. I mean, I know all these places aren't open anymore. And you go and they'd have a rack of what they called house coats. And a lot of times in Texas, they'd be like a lightweight, like a seersucker, like something similar to that. Or they might be just like a lightweight cotton, just real lightweight. And they'd have snaps or buttons, sometimes zippers all the way up the front. They'd be big and boxy. They'd usually be funny, colorful prints or plaids or something like that, polka dots, and flowers, lots of flowers. You wear that over your nightgown. We need to bring that shit back. That's what we need to do. So I'm going to highly recommend, if you don't have one, you come into this era with me. I am in the era of supporting all that bullshit that makes you comfortable. And something that I've been working on, let me tell you, I need a fucking personal assistant, because this is time consuming. Doing the podcast, Kelly and I did not take it serious. We just didn't really ever try to do more than the basic record, put out, record, put out, record, put out. We were in it just to enjoy ourselves. That was it. I am also in it to enjoy myself, but I have a little bit more of a ADHD personality, where I am easy to be like, oh, bear, I'm going to go over here. Oh, look over there. I'm going to go over here. Oh, shiny thing. I'm going to go over there. So I'm trying to do more with it. And, so I have, because, I don't have enough on my plate. Let's just throw some more shit on there, Zada. That's good thinking. And so that's why I've come up with the merch, and I've been doing great on the merch. And if any of y'all are going on a girls' weekend or having some, like a sister weekend or something like that, please check out my, Printify page. I try to print it. I try to post it once a week. But I'm going to have an Amazon page to share as well. And I'm working on that right now. Because that's what I keep selling. Most of my merch I'm selling, the number one seller is Menopausal AF t-shirt, and they're great for girls' weekend. So I really appreciate everybody that sends me pictures of y'all wearing them and that you're buying them. I super love it. I see your orders and I appreciate it. It's by far the best selling shirt. But that was what I was saying, is that I started doing that, and it was doing so well that I was like, how else can I do this? And so I signed up for the Amazon account thing, and I'm still working on setting up the shop and that kind of stuff. But basically, it gives me the opportunity to recommend things, okay? And then you buy it, and I get a little bit of money if y'all do buy it, whatever. But I like the idea of this, because if you have listened to me very long, and I mean even before the podcast, but whenever I just used to blog on here a lot. So I've always used my Facebook as kind of a blog about my life, and made like fun of myself, and, just make myself sound like a stupid, dumbass bitch, which makes me funnier. Or maybe it's no, I'm just kidding. I just like to make fun of myself. Anyway, so I always would talk about products, and it sells. They sell. Every time I do it, people buy it. And because I'm honest and I make fun of myself. So like I posted a picture of an eye cream, and it worked like a motherfucker. And I wanted other people to also enjoy this eye cream, and it was cheap. And Amazon, I think it was like $12. And it sold out. It did great. And I do not get any money. And that was just me personally liking the items. So I think what I'm going to do is do the same thing, but it's only going to be items that I really do like. And some of them are going to be funny. Like I'm going to try to bring back the house dresses. Okay. So we're going to be talking about things like the house dresses. Yes, there'll be some household things, but it'll be like I have this vacuum thing I love that I use on my couches that my daughter-in-law gave me, and it cleans up, cat puke and shit off your couches. Not shit, because my cats don't shit on my couch, but I just mean, stains. And this thing is awesome. And, stuff like that I can really attest to. And if you don't like it, I guess you don't have to fucking buy it. I don't know. But I think it's a real good way for me to bring back house dresses and house coats and anything else that I find funny. So we'll see how that goes. And maybe the remarkable. Maybe I can recommend that, and they'll see me recommend it and be like, this girl really likes this shit. Have I used it? No, but I'd like to talk about it a bunch. Okay, so the other thing is, I am going to do a special little episode of poetry, and y'all do not have to listen to it if you do not want to hear it. This is really for a very specific group of y'all because I have had you ask for it. I did a poetry show like I've talked about a few months ago where I did some cowboy poetry. It was really cowboy hippie poetry because I kind of write a little biography of my life in the poems. And it's like, think rock opera. You know how like you have a rock opera album and all the songs tie together to one story in the end, even though every song is slightly different. Same idea, but poetry. And some of them are even about some of these very people I just found on my family tree. I wrote poems about them as if I knew them. And if you want to check it out, great. If you don't like it, you can just turn it off, whatever. It's going to be a bonus episode, not a regular episode. So you'll see that pop up on my page soon. Pay attention for it. Let me know what you think. If it's something you want me to do again. I just thought I'd throw it out there because I had some requests, but I didn't want it to take up a whole episode because I know that poetry is not for everybody and it's just me nerding out. So, on that note, the poetry and the podcast and the Amazon and all this other bullshit, I just want to say this. Being 50 years old, something that I have learned is that not everybody wants to see you try and succeed. It just not everybody really likes to see that. Like, you see a feel-good TikTok or a reel or a YouTube or something where it's like some person like really came through the odds and they worked their ass off and they got to where they wanted to be and good things happened for them and they ended up being successful or they ended up, being happy and it didn't look like they were going to have a happy life or whatever it was. We like that. We like to see that. We really, everybody, it makes you feel good and it's like, wow, I'm so happy for them. And I think it makes most of us feel good. But the coming up part, the part where that person put in the work, the part where they're the employee that shows up first and leaves last, the part where they're the student that asks 12 more questions than everybody else because they wanted an even better understanding, the overachiever or the person that dreamed big and said, I can do this, I want to do this, I believe in myself, this is my last shot or this is my first shot or whatever it is. People that are in the middle of putting in the work and building up their emotional ability to handle the rejections they're going to get and the other people's opinions they're going to get about that. That keeps a lot of people from following through with it and becoming the one on the end that succeeds and gets where they want, that we all cheer for. And like we really cheer for this guy when he makes it happen. But for some reason, over the last 30 years, we've stopped putting a hand up, a hand down and pulling people up with us. And we have started instead to laugh and judge and question them because we couldn't do it or we're not comfortable doing it, or that's out of our thought process, or it's not the norm. And me doing something like doing a podcast or 2 podcasts, or me thinking I could do an Amazon shop, or me thinking that I can do my laundry and get it put away in the same day. Sometimes that's a chore that I don't know if I can do. But, me dreaming big. Okay, so if I am a 50-year-old woman and I am dreaming big and that makes you uncomfortable, And I'm not trying to be famous. That is not it at all. It is about the fact that I just want to make sure that I get to do things for me, because I have spent my whole life doing things for other people. And it is time to do things for me. And it doesn't have to get 1 million views. Thankfully, they're successful. But if they weren't, it wouldn't make a difference, because I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for me. I'm leaving my mark. And you don't have to like my mark, but I do. And I have to like myself. And I have to know I tried. And I have to know that, I gave everything I wanted to what I wanted to give. And that I really tried to make myself happy during my lifetime. And everyone seems to enjoy the judgment pushing down part. And then once someone does succeed, they want to be like, oh yeah, that was my friend. That was my guy. But yet they were whispering. They were like, this is silly. They were judging. They were whatever. And, I hope that all of you have the balls to say you don't give a fuck what people think. If you want to become the best table setter for the tablescaping contest, if you want to be the best rapper at 50 years old, if you want to be a model and rocks the gray beard at 60, if you want to start working out and start doing, bodybuilding and posting pictures where you're doing bodybuilding, if you want to try to become a famous cook, or if you want to just enjoy giving your recipes out and that you enjoy just doing that, okay? Or writing a book, or a guy that I grew up with, he's been putting out children's books on Amazon, and he's been putting out little notebooks that you buy for school, but he's been designing different prints for them and selling them online. He's just chasing a fun little dream, and that is fucking awesome. You want to go to the Renaissance Fair and you want to dress up like a fucking dragon? I want you to do that. And I want to be excited for you from the time that you start looking online to find your costume till the time that you walk in looking amazing. I feel like we need to start pulling people up with us. And if we can't pull them up, just let them know it's exciting to watch them pull themselves up. But it's really crazy that sometimes I get anxiety about the fact that I think that people are thinking about me like I'm old trying to do this, or I think too highly of myself, like that reviewer said, or whatever the case. You know what they're saying, okay? And I can't let other people stop me or slow me down because they don't have the balls to do something fun for themselves. I am not going to be one of those people that when you look me up, and I've been dead for 70 years, my biography says, born here, died here. You're going to look at mine and you're going to see I wore out my dancing shoes. I want to be the one that wears out their dancing shoes so hard they wrote it down 150 years later. That's what I want. And if you don't want to be that, you don't have to do that, okay? And if you want to judge me for being that, you can judge me for being that. But you get one life, you get one legacy, you get one chance to do what you want to do for you. And I am not going to go down in history as someone that only did things for other. Is that awesome? Yes. It is wonderful. And I've done plenty of it. But at some point, it's my turn to let my personality and my heart get what they want. And that is what I'm doing. And that's what I've been doing a long time. I didn't just suddenly start doing this. This is what I've been doing in different ways for a long time. And I taught my kids to do it. And I'm going to tell you, it sometimes costs us friendships because we're not going to waver who we want to be in life. And it takes time sometimes, and it takes work. And that's what we're going to do. Whether people like it or not. And I hope all of you are not afraid to follow that dream. You are never too old to do something. And it may not get the same results. I'm not trying to be famous. I am just trying to leave a mark. I'm just trying to do something that's fun for me. I'm just trying to make other women feel good through me and make people think. And if it makes them think negative, I guess I still made them think. But then I just feel bad for them because that's fucking stupid. What is wrong with just enjoying life? Why is it weird for someone to want to enjoy life? And it makes me think of like the Pamela Anderson situation where she's just like this bombshell. And when she takes her makeup off and she still looks amazing, people just go hard. They just can't believe she's not trying to please them. And she's pleasing herself. And that's insane to me that we just give that. Why do we give a fuck, y'all? So, those are also people that I would like to take my uterus out and strangle them with. And on that note, if you don't like the new Tyler Childers album, I don't want to hear about it. But if you haven't listened to it, there is one song on it that I find absolutely hilarious, and it's Biting List. And it is about how if he had rabies, who would be the first person on his biting list. So I started thinking about who would be the first person on my biting list. I can't name some of them, but I will say the person that is judging anyone else for having dreams and aspiration, I'm going to put them at the top of my list of my biting list. That's what I'm going to leave y'all with today. So thank y'all for joining me. And I will be doing a second episode here in a few days with the poetry. It could be next week. I'm going to see what works for my editor because we're definitely not trying to overwork the man. Y'all, please like, share, follow, all that. Recommend me. Please tell your girlfriends if they're going through some shit and they want to listen to it. I appreciate it. And they might appreciate it too. And they might not like it. And that's fine too. Let's see if they want to check it out. If you do want to order anything from me, it's Zada-Owens at printify.com. I often post it on my social media, which is Zada Owens on Facebook. It is Zada or Z Mamacita on Instagram. It is also Bless Your Heart I'm Talking on Instagram. And it is Two Sides in the Truth and Bless Your Heart I'm Talking. I think you can find it both ways. It's very confusing. Just, if you see posts there that looks like I posted, it's probably right. But I often post the links. I will be posting some of these pictures of these people that I spoke of. And again, thanks for listening. Y'all have an awesome week. And join me again next time on Bless Your Heart I'm Talking, the podcast.